You know, a good friend of mine from Germany, his name is Life, and he go, "Hello, Brian. This is Life. How are you? Would you like to go play some foosball with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like the best foosball player.
Hey guys. Hey. What are you doing here?
We're shooting the shit, talking about this next episode. What's going on? What are you two doing here?
Did you guys not read our emails?
Did you get an email?
I get a lot of emails.
Do you open our emails?
What's your email?
Guys, it's March. We're gearing up for the March episode. Does that kind of ring a bell?
March Madness.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right
Patty's
now.
Day,
Hello.
some green beer. Come on.
Think. March. For us, it's quite significant.
Is there like a women's thing this
March.
month?
Yes! There you go. Yes!
Yeah. Keep
You're
going.
close.
Lights are
You're
on.
close.
Home. Come on, guys. Think deep. Reach down.
It is Women Fertility Month.
Brian.
Is it really?
Brian.
I think it's Fertility Month.
That's
right?
This is
like
what
March, like
happens.
springtime.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you ignore women's voices. I told you repeatedly that this month, Milena and I were going to be hosting because it's International Women's Month.
International Women's Month is March.
It's
We
not.
do it
It's
every
a whole
year.
month.
We do
The
it
whole month.
every year.
Oh wow.
Every
That's
year.
awesome. You guys get a whole month?
Yes, we do.
Don't
And we
even-
will
don't
just...
take the bait. Don't take the bait.
Don't take
Why don't
it.
you guys
know
just
what?
get up?
Just
Don't
please.
take the bait. Come on.
Just come on.
Fine.
We go.
We're going to go get ready to drink some green beer. All right.
Go. Enjoy yourselves. Hey, girl.
I can't.
I can't
It's
either.
okay. It's
It's
okay.
fine. It's fine. It's our month.
Small steps.
It's our month to ignore
steps.
them.
Our month.
So,
It's our century. Anyway.
what's up, LA?
What's up, LA? Sorry for the snort. What's up, LA?
Welcome to the March episode of What's Up, LA, your guide to everything that's happening in the LA arts community. We have a great episode for you today.
Yep, I got to go to LA Goal and interview some fabulous actors who are going to be here at the Blue Door Theater putting on a presentation of We Are Sam, which is loosely based on the 2001 film I Am Sam starring Sean Penn. These actors are phenomenal. It was a really, really great time.
We also sat down with one of our newest programs. We sat down with Christopher Lovero and Louise Rosager from Warriors for Peace, who are teaching free classes for military veterans right here at the Blue Door every Friday. And we have a great community calendar, as always. So stay tuned and welcome to What's Up, LA.
What's up, LA? What's up, LA? What's up, LA? What's up, LA?
So LA Goal stands for Los Angeles Greater Opportunities for Advanced Living. And it's just this beautiful place where there are all these different programs for people across the spectrum of developmental disabilities, where you can come learn cooking, music, drama, perform in plays. There's kind of job training, job placement programs. So there's all these amazing programs. I think really the special thing about it is just the community.
And I imagine lifelong friendships are made here.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard to articulate exactly like the bonds that they have, I think. I mean, and I'm only here a couple days a week really, or one day every couple weeks. And I kind of get to see into that, but they are like really lifelong family members. It's more than just friends. It's like they are a family.
Actually joined LA Go in 1984, 85.
Wow.
That's where I met my husband.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how has LA Goal, what has it given you over the years? A sense of community, a family?
Family, community, socializing with people. We get together afterwards, go out for coffee, go out for dinner, and just, hang out and just have fun.
And how did you get involved at the drama group?
Actually, when I joined LA in 84, 85, drama group was there. It was just a few people, but then we got more members, and we did, let's see, Wizard of Oz. I was Dorothy. We did some other plays, and then we started doing original works from the LA Go members. They told their story, and we involved.
And then the play We Are Sam is loosely based on the movie I Am Sam,
Yes.
but you all participated in writing it as well,
That's correct, yeah. We watched the movie, and then we told our own story about, how we feel being disabled and all that, and put it together. So we call it We Are Sam.
So far, We Are Sam, I've learned so much about that movie because it bases on how Sam has a child and going through stages with her, and how people cannot be so nice, especially kids. Lucy's friends made fun of Sam because he had a disability, and that made it hard for her. And I grew up with that too, where kids, can be cruel, and some adults. And, I just learned how it's so important to speak up for yourself, to fight for what you believe in and what you want.
And your work is teaching people how to advocate for themselves so they can advocate for others.
Yeah, we have 17 self-advocacy groups in the greater Los Angeles area, and our Consumer Advisory Committee oversees 17 self-advocacy groups in the greater Los Angeles area. We meet at parks, we go to restaurants, we go on outings on the weekends sometimes.
Could you see how theater could be self-advocacy in a way?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, because in each play that we've done, it just, especially We Are Sam, how it's so important to speak up for what you want and what you can get. And I see in the film, I saw the love between Sam and Lucy, and how Lucy adored her father. That was one of my favorite scenes.
Made me cry.
Yeah, I cried too. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sitting with us. I really appreciate you. We all appreciate you coming here and talking with us. And I know we all cannot wait to see the show.
Community calendar, March. Here we go. Winterfest 2026. Winterfest is Ensemble Studio Theater's, or ESTLA's, annual new play reading extravaganza. Until March 22nd, see more than 20 staged readings of fresh plays in development. Tickets are pay what you can, with a suggested minimum donation of $15. The Brawn, Yayoi Kusama's immersive installation Infinity Mirrored Room, the souls of millions of light years away. It's a mirrored room with LED lights that you can physically enter for up to 1 minute. It's free, just make sure you make your reservations in advance on their website. On March 5th, celebrate St. Patrick's Day by making your own lucky green slime. All materials will be provided. It's a free activity recommended for kids from 5 to 12 years old at Robert Louis Stevenson Branch Library in East Los Angeles. That's it.
What's up, everybody? I am so excited to be here with Chris Lovero and Louise Rosager, friends of Arts Up LA, and doing some amazing work themselves. Let's introduce you to our community here at Arts Up LA and What's Up LA. Chris, you are Army veteran. You are also a veteran of Veterans Empowerment Theater. Served in the Iraq War, then went into the arts after that, and then served a few tours in Ukraine. I want to talk about all of those things here today. And Louisa, you are a Shakespeare expert, I would say, and I'd love to hear a little bit about that as well. So why don't we start with you, Louisa? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much, Brian. I am a Shakespeare expert. I became a Shakespeare expert because I was I was producing a television show called Will, which was set in the early days of Shakespeare's life. And it was my original idea, and I was told to be able to stay involved in it as a very new producer in my sort of mid-late 20s, that I had to become invaluable to the process. And I did that by really getting to know everything that I could about Shakespeare. I was already, very familiar with his plays. I'd been an actor for over 10 years and predominantly doing Shakespeare at that point. But so the expert part really came from just making a commitment to the show and to the showrunner that no matter what question he would ask me, I would be able to answer it in 24 hours, no matter what it took, no matter where I had to go, who I had to call, how much I had to sit up late into the night to figure out what he was looking for. And so that was where the Shakespeare expert came in, and then that show, of course, went on to air, I think in 2017, after 10 years of working on it. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And Chris, so tell us a little bit about your journey through the arts and through the military.
So I volunteered to go to Afghanistan after 9/11. My unit got diverted to Iraq. And I spent a year in Mosul and a few other places attached to the 2nd Infantry Division. And as a seminal experience of my life, I served with some of the most amazing human beings you'll ever meet. The soldiers and the leaders are just phenomenal human beings. But the war affected me, as it can. And when I returned, I had very acute symptoms of PTSD. And I almost became one of those statistics that you read about. 22 veterans per day take their lives. And I was on the brink. I almost took my life, and something pulled me back from the brink. And then it was a 10-year journey after that to find healing and catharsis, and I just couldn't until I discovered the arts. And doing theater and dance and doing Shakespeare opened me up in ways that nothing else has been able to. And it was so powerfully cathartic that I wanted to share that process, that experience, with my fellow veterans. So I came up with the idea of forming this theater company where we use Shakespeare and the arts to help veterans find catharsis and help them with reintegration back into civilian society. And I guess the universe, God, was watching out for us because it's been a great journey of healing and catharsis that we would not have been able to really achieve if not for this Shakespeare expert sitting next to me, who's, by the way, not even an American. She's an immigrant like my family, never in the military, no connection with the military, but she felt so called to help our community. And she's been volunteering her time and energy and her expertise with Shakespeare for our veterans community for many years now. And so, blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting way how I found Chris and how I found the company, because when I moved to Los Angeles, it was really to no longer be an actor. And I went into production and I went into writing, but I was really missing being with Shakespeare, being with Shakespeare's words. I had a 10-year acting career, and just always Shakespeare had been such a massive part of how I defined myself as a human being. So I was really missing that. I was missing teaching. And so I sent a little note to the universe, and I said, please let me find a context where I can teach. And then around that same time, I saw a documentary about the veteran suicide hotline. And it moved me so deeply, and I wasn't quite sure why, but it just really got in there. And so I sent another little message to the universe, please let me somehow be of service to this population, Flash forward a month or so, and I was on a panel with a woman who was Chris's then acting teacher. And she said, you guys should meet. You have similar, similar sensibilities.
The universe answers.
And
actually, shout out to Susan Giosa. She is a fantastic actor and one of the just finest acting teachers in LA, Susan Giosa. And she's the reason that we were able to meet.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Chris, I want to just go back just a little bit. When you were in kind of that really dark moment, and you said something brought you back, would you be up for sharing what that something was?
Sure, that's actually a great question because there's a lot of misconceptions about suicide, and of course, everyone is experiencing something different. Of course, I can only speak to my experience, but it wasn't that I wanted to die. It's just that I couldn't bear living anymore. And the way I describe it is, it felt like, because when I returned from the war, I was in combat like all the way up until like the last week I was there. And it just felt like there was this lead blanket lying on top of me, suffocating me 24/7. Like I couldn't get the war out of my mind, just intrusive thoughts, hypervigilance. Like you go down the list of, the acute symptoms of PTSD, and I was experiencing all of them, and I just couldn't break out of that. And so it just got to the point where the load was too heavy. The rucksack was too heavy. And suicide was just considered, it was just seen as a way out of the pain. And I don't know what brought me back from the brink. I mean, I had the gun in my mouth, and I started to pull the trigger. I was pulling the slack off the trigger. And something stopped me. And the very next day, I went to the Oakland VA Center and got help.
Well, thankful to all, thankful for us and everyone and yourself that you did. And, for any other vets that need help, please seek it out. And that's the beauty of art. That's the beauty of the healing nature of art. We all see this firsthand. And, I think we can segue into Warriors for Peace Theater, working with Arts Up LA here at the Blue Door, providing these Shakespeare classes. It's just, we see it firsthand. We talk about it all the time.
If I may, just on that note, before we move on, to the veterans watching, there's this perception in the military that getting help is a sign of weakness. We've talked about that. And so there's this obstacle to getting help. But, the message I want to give my fellow veterans is getting help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. Get help. The world needs you. People love you. What you're going through is transition. It's a transition, and you can get through it. You just got to be brave enough to get help. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength.
So we are doing Warriors for Peace Theater here at the Blue Door. This is Shakespeare classes and monologue classes. So let's talk a little bit about that. And then I want to touch on a lot of other subjects too here today. So tell us a little bit about the Shakespeare program and the monologue workshops that we have here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it was originally started to be a way for veterans to use their feelings and experiences in a creative and really value-creating way. Now we've opened it up for everybody because, obviously we live in a world where everybody has a lot of stuff. Everybody has a lot of things that they're moving through in life, a lot of trauma, right? And Shakespeare is such a phenomenal tool to become a truly authentic actor and a great actor, because you can't lie in Shakespeare. It doesn't work, right? So what I mean by that is that if you put on a mask, an idea of what the character should be, it's not interesting. If you bring your truth to the character, it is interesting. So what is your personal truth, and how can I speak it through these words? When I do, the words become alive. And when I do, no matter where I'm starting from, the words will take me where I need to go.
Sign me up. I'm joining the next class.
She touched on something about the sense of trust. And one of the things that's one of her superpowers is creating that environment of trust, because one of the things that veterans miss is, that sense of tribe that we had in the military, that knowing that we have each other's backs no matter what. So to replicate that in the acting studio with Louise, the way she creates a space for people to just feel like they can trust each other, that this is a safe space to explore not just the text, but what you're bringing to it, and how a lot of veterans, and you also meant everybody has trauma, not just veterans. So our classes are open up to civilians as well. But, everybody has trauma. But to really look at that trauma and deal with it, you need to do it in a safe space.
It's something that we need a lot more of nowadays.
That is a superpower.
Yeah, that is a superpower. So I want to. So I did a little bit more research on you, Louise, and you even touched on it briefly. But we've heard of bartenders, we've heard of bud tenders. You are a dream tender.
Yeah, thankfully, I'm not a bartender. I don't think anybody would want
What do you got against bartenders? No, I'm just kidding. I used to be a bartender.
I just would drop all the glasses everywhere.
But I'm fascinated by dream work,
Yeah.
and I'd love to just talk briefly about the work that you do with your dream coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. So I coach people, predominantly creatives, in accessing really that more authentic voice and that more sort of alive version of the content that they're working on, whether that's acting or creative writing, or even, I have a bunch of photographers and visual artists that I work with too. But I also just work with people who are interested in unlocking the messages of their dreams, And the way that I work is really my philosophy that I've employed from just working and training in this work for 20 years, is that the dreams are really coming to bring us wholeness. That's the only reason why they come. They want us to see what's out of balance and how to sort of course correct, so that we can live our biggest potential. We
could do a whole podcast on that and all this stuff.
She's got a lot of superpowers.
Amazing. So I want to talk a little bit more about the work with veterans. Chris, we sort of, we met a long time ago, and we kind of have had our paths have crossed multiple times in a lot of different ways, and now we've kind of reunited, which is really wonderful. You were actually one of our kind of original groups of Veterans Empowerment Theater when we combined our Veterans Empowerment Theater program with our Theater by the Blind program. We created an original musical called Beyond Sight, which was
so amazing.
It really was an amazing process, and we performed it at the Stella Adler Theater back in 2013, I believe.
Yes.
And I would love to hear you told me a little story one time about how you were cast. And I remember I was at the casting table, so I remember when you came in and read for it, and Greg and I looked over at each other. I was like, "Yep, he's our he's our drill sergeant for sure, our Lee Ermey, if you will." And you totally came in, but you have a different side of that story that I would love to hear. So,
well, as I recall, I was so fascinated by the project and the company, the Theater of the Blind, and what you're helping veterans. So I remember going to the audition, but around that time, I just felt like I wasn't able to commit. And so I told Greg, "Hey, man, this is amazing. Thank you for helping the veterans. Thank you for creating this Theater of the Blind. My brother's visually impaired, so I have a personal connection, but I can't do it." And I just remember Greg going, "Yeah, I need you. You're going to be in it." And he was so persuasive and so confident.
Sounds like Greg.
I just kind of looked at Greg and I said, "Well, okay." And it was a phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
Oh my God, to share the stage with my fellow veterans, and to share the stage with actors who are visually impaired, and they were so amazing that one of the actors, the audience didn't even know that he was blind. But just to bring those two groups together, it was just magical, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
So I want to talk a little bit about future projects and your experiences in Ukraine, because this is obviously super relevant right now. We see it on every day, and it's as an American here, we can be very sympathetic and we can be very concerned. But you actually are going over there and working with them front and center. And how many times have you been over there? And
right before the holidays, I just returned from my 5th trip since the full-scale invasion in 2020.
So I'd love to hear, you talked to me a little bit about coming back from Ukraine. You had an art project in mind that you wanted to share, and I would love to hear a little bit about that if you're up for it.
Sure. So because of my experience with Diavolo and with you and Warriors for Peace Theater, and because I know that arts are so healing, I want to bring some Ukrainians veterans back to sponsor them to come to the United States and do a project with our veterans. And that could be, probably something in the theater, maybe something with dance, but to bring their veterans here and just kind of get something together with our veterans and tour it, put together an original piece. Maybe it has elements of dance and theater, and a way of like having our veterans support their veterans as well.
Your experiences in Ukraine, I would love to hear, all the stuff that you did over there, but this idea of bringing back some of their veterans to work with our veterans and create healing art projects here sounds so incredible on so many levels. What's the time frame that you're thinking about for that?
Well, like everything else, as you know,
it's funding
without a budget,
so if you think this is an amazing idea and you do, help support it. Let's do this. If you've got some deep pockets and you want to really help the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian veterans with a really good cause like this, look us up. Look Warriors for Peace.
Warriors for Peace Theater.org.
Yep. So to wrap it up, though, we are in the middle of a series of workshops here at the Blue Door with Warriors for Peace Theater, but we do these year round, and these are like, how long is the cycle, and when does the next one start?
Next one starts in mid-March.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's an 8-week session.
More information, where do they go for more information on it?
warriorsforpeacetheater.org has all of the information. And you can also go to my Instagram account, which is LouisaDreams21.
And we'll have information at artsupla.org as well, because it's here at Arts Up LA. So I just want to thank you both so much. This was incredible.
Thank you.
The time went by way too quick, and we could do a bunch more of these and still not have enough time. So maybe we'll have to do that. But
thank you for what you're doing for the veterans community,
Absolutely.
for the blind community, for just arts in LA.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's an honor to work with both of you as well, and we're so excited to have you here at the Blue Door. Thank you all for joining us today, and please sign up for these wonderful classes. We'll see you soon.
Left, right, left. Romeo, Oscar, Tango, Charlie. Tomorrow, TCB. All you can be. We're dancing in you.